10 days. Good early morning, not at
Om Sahana Bhavatu. Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavai. Tejasvinavadetamastu. Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam. Alayam Karunalayam. Namami Bhagavatpada. Shankaram Loka Shankaram. Shankaram Shankaracharyam. Keshavam Badarayanam. Sutrabhashya Krita Vande. Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Thank you, Jay. Page number 180, 42nd verse, Ji. Swarupatvat na sarvasya tyaktum shakyo pyananyatah. Grahitum va tato nityaha avishayatvat apritaktvatah. Swarupatvat. Swarupatvat means being its own nature. Swarupa. Swarupa means nature. The actuality. Like the snake, even though you are seeing it as a snake, but its actuality is being a rope. It is being the rope. That is the Swarupa. Swarupa means nature. Swarupatvat na sarvasya tyaktum shakyaha ananyataha. Shakyaha. It is not possible to renounce everything. It's not possible to renounce everything. It is not possible to, it's not necessary also to renounce anything. Because everything has to be, renunciation is not solution. Ji. Renunciation may give you a relief. Renunciation itself is not a solution. If renunciation is a solution, then it would be very easy to take sannyasa for anybody, because the knowledge is to understand that I am not anatma. I am only atma. I am only anatma. I am not anatma. I am not the body. This understanding is required. Understanding is the solution. Ananyataha. Ananyataha means everything is one with atma, oneself. Everything being one with oneself, you can't renounce anything. There is no need to renounce anything. Renunciation, even the renunciation is a sadhana. Renunciation of kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. Certain swabhavika empires, swabhavika impulses have to be renounced. Swabhavika impulses, the natural impulses as a jiva, they are synonymous with jivatvam, individuality. You cannot be a jiva without having kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. And if they are not there, they can be renounced, and they can be. If they are renounced, there is a relief from them. There is a relief from them. Because kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, they can create a problem. They can create a handicap. They can come in the way of vichara, and therefore they have to be controlled. And that controlling is what is called renunciation. Self-control is called renunciation. And you don't have the desire, don't have the anger, you don't have the jealousy, you don't have the kama, krodha, moha, greed, etc. Then those impulses are, renunciation of the impulses means having no impulses. It means only the renunciation of the impulses. This renunciation may give you a relief. It never gives you a solution. The solution is only understanding oneself. And therefore, ananyataha. And there is no need to renounce everything. It is not possible also to renounce everything. You can't renounce food. You can't renounce drink. You can't renounce whatever biologically is required. Whatever you require for living, you can't renounce. You can't give up. You can't give up breath, air. You can't give up space. You can't give up anything. And therefore, whatever is necessary, you can't give up. And therefore, whatever is necessary, you have to take. Therefore, everything being with oneself, everything being one with oneself, and therefore you don't have to renounce anything. The solution is only the jnana. Ananyataha. Ananyataha means ananyatvam. Ananyataha means ananyatvam. Ananyatvataha. Ananyataha means ananyatvataha. Ananyatvam is the reason. non-separate, not inside. Nothing is separate from your being. Nothing is separate from your being. Therefore, if this is understood that everything is one with me, that is understanding. And that implies that you have no anatmata. You are the truth of the anatma. You are not anatma, you are the truth of anatma. Snake is the rope is not the snake, rope is the truth of the snake. Rope is the truth of the snake. Similarly, water is not a wave, water is the truth of the wave. What is mistaken is the truth. As what it is mistaken is the creation. As what it is mistaken as the wave. What is mistaken? The water is mistaken, and therefore water is the fact, and the wave is the what is mistaken as is an error. The waveness is an error. Waterness is the fact, and therefore, in the same manner, water is just as water is the truth of the wave, and water is not the wave. In the same manner, the Atma is not that Anatma. Atma is the truth of Anatma. Atma is not the body. Atma is the truth of the body. Atma is the truth of the body. Ananyataha. Ananyatvam is what is to be understood. Ananyatvam is what is to be understood. If the Ananyatvam is understood, everything is understood. Ananyatvam means everything. Anatma is not something parallel to the Atma. It is one with Atma. If A is B, there is no B. A alone is. A is A. B is also A. Atma is Atma. Anatma is also Atma. Therefore, Atma alone is. That is what is called Advaitam. Atma is Atma. Anatma is also Atma. And therefore, Atma alone is. Atma is Advaitam. And therefore, Swarupatvat na sarvasya tektum shakyaha ananyataha. Grahitum va tataha nitya. And then you can't objectify it also. You can't objectify the Atma also. Grahit means grahana karne ke liye bhi is not possible. It's not possible to objectify the Atma. The objectifier is Atma. The objectified is not Atma. That is Anatma. Anything that you objectify is Anatma. It's not Atma. The objectifier is Atma. Grahitum va na tataha nityaha. And therefore it is nityaha. It is not, because anything that you objectify is non-eternal. It is anityaha. It is non-eternal. And therefore anything that you objectify is non-eternal. And therefore it cannot be objectified. It is anatma. If it is objectified, it is not atma. It is objectifier is atma. And therefore it is anatma. The objectified is anatma, and therefore nitya, and the objectifier is nitya. Avishayatvat. It is not an object. Being not an object, and also it is not other than oneself. It is the truth of Atma is the truth of the Anatma. Therefore, Atma cannot objectify itself. The objectifier cannot objectify himself. And therefore, it is Nityam. Atma is Nityam, Anatma is Anityam. Atma is Nityam, Anatma is Anityam. Anatma is, and then in order to objectify, there has to be division. But there is no division between Atma and Anatma. Anatma is Atma. Anatma's truth is Atma. It is the Atma that is mistaken to be Anatma. It is the Atma that is mistaken to be the body. It is the Atma that is mistaken to be the objects also. Therefore, all objects are indeed oneself. They are indeed non-separate from Atma. The objects are non-separate from Atma. Therefore, Atma is Atma. Anatma is also Atma. Therefore, Atma alone is non-dual. As in Sushupti. In Sushupti, it is Atma alone is. In Sushupti, Atma alone Advaitam. When you don't see, when you don't remember, that is called as Laya. It is called, we call it Laya Avastha. Everything else has Anatma has, all Anatma has become Laya. It has become resolved. When you don't see, when you don't remember, There is no faculty of perception, there is no faculty of memory. And therefore it is something that is it has resolved in the Sushupti. And therefore Atma alone is. Atma is Advaitam. And therefore it is being Advaitam, Atma being Advaitam in Sushupti, Atma alone is. Swarupattvatu na sarvasya tyaktum. You don't have to renounce everything. You can't renounce everything. Shakyaha ananyataha. There is no need to renounce anything. Everything is there. Everything is there as you. Everything, you are the truth of everything. Therefore ananyataha. Grahetum va tatva nityaha. Grahetum va. You can't objectify the Atma. You can't objectify the Atma because you are Atma. The one who objectifies is Atma, and the objectified is Anatma. Anything that is objectified is Anatma. And therefore, the body is Anatma, and the one who is conscious being is Atma. The consciousness is Anatma, is Atma. Conscious being is Atma, and therefore the body is Anatma. And why it can be objectified? Avishyatvata. It is not an object. Atma is not an object. Avishyatvata. Aprataktvata. Aprataktvata means it is not, there is no division between Atma and Anatma. Atma is Atma. Anatma is also Atma. Anatma is also Atma. Therefore, there is no division between Atma and Anatma. The sense of division also is avidya, ignorance. When the avidya is not there, so the sense of division goes away. The sense of division and the sense of reality goes away. And therefore, anitya avishayatva apatta, the sense of division is not there. Therefore, atmarthatvacha sarvasya. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Everything is for Atma. Everything is, every pleasure is sought only for yourself, for Atma only. Atma only seeks the pleasures. If Atma is not there, then you can't be alive. And therefore, Atma seeks the pleasures. Atmarthatvacha sarvasya. Everything is meant for Atma. The air is meant for Atma. The fire is meant for Atma. The fire is Anatma, but it is meant for Anatma. All the Anatma is meant for Atma. Atmartatvacha sarvasya. Nitya Atma eva kevalaha. Ever being Atma only. Everything things as things are meant for the Atma. Things as Atma are Atma only. Things as Atma are Atma. And therefore Atma are not the things. Atma is the truth of the things. This is what is to be understood. Atma is the truth of the things. Atma is not as things are meant for the Atma. Things as Atma are Atma itself. Ananyatma. They are non-separate from Atma. And therefore, Nitya Atma ever being Atma, they are meant for Atma. They are serving Atma. They are ever being Atma. They are serving the Atma. Like the dream objects are yourself only. When you wake up, only you are there. There is no dream world. Dream objects are not there. But the dream objects in the dream, they served only Atma. They served only yourself. But when you wake up, you alone are there. They're all non-separate from yourself, your being. And therefore, it is said, Pashan Atmani Bahiriva Atmano, as though outside the self they exist, as though they are objects of thoughts, but they are only thoughts only, they are only perception, and therefore Atmaiva Kevalaha. Chajet Tasmat Kriya Sarva. And therefore even the Karma Kanda, all the Kriyas, all the worships and the Chajet Sarvaha. All these things you can renounce all of them if you have become pure. Otherwise, the kriyas, the prayers and worships need not be renounced. They can always be kept alive. They can be there. Tasmat tejet tasmat kriya sarvaha. If a person is pure, then he can renounce. If he is not pure, then he has to continue with them. Sadhana kriyaha. Sadhana is saha. Along with the sadhanas. Saha mokshavit. Mokshavit means the one who understands, the one who wants the moksha. The one who wants the moksha renounce all the kriyas, prayers and worships, etc. You have to discern between Atma and Anatma. You should become your own topic. You should become your own topic. And it's only when you become your own topic, then the moksha is possible. When you become your own topic, otherwise it becomes difficult. The prayers and worships are good for a person who has not who is not pure. But if he is pure, if he is pure, why should one think that yeah, I'm impure? You should always think that you are pure, and therefore, well, they are only meant for purity of mind. Karma yoga is meant for purity, and karma yoga, even the prayers and worships can be done only as a prayer of karma yoga, and therefore prayer and karma yoga. Kevala, Atmaiva Kevala, Saha Moksha. And if a person is already he thinks that he is pure, if he is peaceful, if he can do vichara, then he can renounce all of them. And therefore, the best thing is to renounce all of them and then to discern. If you are able to discern between yourself and the Deha, then nothing else is required. That itself will destroy the Bhranti. आत्मार्थत्वाचन सर्वस्य नित्य आत्मैव केवलः त्यजेत् तस्मात् क्रिया सर्वाः साधनैः सह मोक्षवित्. A person who understands mokshavit, the one who desires what is moksha. Mokshavit means the one who understands freedom. He should renounce all the moksha, renounce all the karmas along with the sadhanas. Atma labhaha, paro labhaha. Understanding oneself is the gaining oneself is the parolabha. This is the timeless gain. Atma labha, parolabha. Paraha means timeless gain. Iti shastra pataya. In this manner, the Shastra says, Atma labha, parolabha. Atma labha means understanding oneself is the best thing. He can gain the best thing. If you have gained yourself, you have gained the whole universe because you are the truth of the whole universe. And that is why it is said, if you are not the truth of the whole universe, then you can't gain, you gain only yourself. But it can't be said, it can't be followed by another statement. You by gaining yourself, you gain the whole universe. This statement cannot follow. Why? Because if you are the truth of the universe, then you are this statement it works. What is the statement? That by knowing yourself, you gain the whole universe. Upapataya, that is true. Upapatti means logic. The logic also says something, and we will something to this effect. The logic also says that if you are infinite, the infinite cannot exclude anything. The infinite should include everything, and the infinite, if it is included, it cannot include it as included. Everything else is an error, and therefore it is inclusive of everything. And an error is nothing but fact. An error is nothing but fact. The fact is the truth of the error. The fact misunderstood is the truth, is the error. The fact misunderstood is the error. And therefore, the truth is the fact, is the truth of the fact is the truth of the error. And therefore, Atmalava Parolava iti Shastra Upataya. Shastra says to that effect, and the logic also says to that effect. Alabha Anya Atmalava Anya Atmalabhastu Anya Atma Anya Alabha Anya Atmalabhastu Anya Atmalabhastu Tyajet Tasmad Anatmatam. alavaha, alavaha anyaha, anyaha, alavaha anyaha. Any other gain is only alavaha, alavaha anyaha, alavaha anyaha. Atmalabha, Atmalabha, see, everything else is nothing. Atmalabha is indeed, say, understanding yourself is the best. Understanding yourself is the greatest gain, and everything else is nothing. And therefore, tasmat anatmatam tyajet. Tasmat tyajet, tasmat anatmatam. Tyajet means you can renounce everything else. Tyajet tasmat anatmatam. Your identification with the body. Anatmatam. Anatmatam means you are being anatma. You renounce. You should. Renunciation is not the solution. It is only renunciation. Is only it will only give you a relief. But ultimately, you have to understand. You have to discern between yourself, existence, and the body. The body. It is not locked up in the body. Atma is not in the body is in the Atma. The wave is in water. The water is mistaken. What is mistaken? Atma is mistaken as the Deha. Atma is mistaken. What is mistaken is the Atma. Atma is mistaken as Deha. What is mistaken as the rope is the rope. As what it is mistaken as the snake. And therefore, it is the truth of the snake. Similarly, Atma is the truth of the body. If it is taken as the body, then it is an error. That I am the body is an error. It's a mistake. Annidagrahana. Annidagrahana means it's a mistake. But in Annidagrahana, how to resolve it? That the Atma is not there. Atma is not Deha. Atma is the truth of the Deha. This is what is to be understood. Anatmatam should be renounced, should be disproved. Renunciation is not the solution. And the gunanam samabhavasya. Gunanam, this sattva rajastama gunas are the Sankhya. In Sankhya school, it is said, sattva rajastama, they have their own philosophy. Sankhya school. Sankhya school is Dvaita school, Dvaita philosophy. Dvaita philosophy is what? The first Dvaitis are Sankhyas. The Sankhya school of thought. It is they say Atma is these gunas are there. When they become equilibrium, there is equilibrium between the sattva guna, rajoguna, tamoguna. They are having prakriti and purusha. Prakriti and purusha. And how many purushas? Infinite number of purushas. Conscious beings are there. Every conscious being is asanga atma. It is asanga, it is infinite. There are infinite number of infinite jivas. Every is only jivatvam. That I am Deha makes you a jiva. That I am Deha makes him a jiva. Otherwise, he is a purusha. He is a purusha. He is infinite being. He takes himself to be the body, and that is called aviveka. And that up to that it is all right. And then they say sattva rajastama gunas are there, and these sattva rajastama gunas are equilibrium. They are all in the same ratio, and then the universe becomes resolved. The universe becomes who makes them equilibrium, who puts them into equilibrium, who breaks them into equilibrium, and the creation takes place when there is no equilibrium. And they don't accept the Sankhya. They don't accept Ishvara. And when they don't accept Ishvara, then who makes Atma being Brahman, they don't accept. Purusha being infinite, they accept, but Atma being Brahman, they don't accept. If you say that a Purusha is infinite, the infinite number of infinite, how can there be infinite number of infinites? Infinite number of infinites. One jiva is different from another jiva. How can that be? Like in Sushupti, there is no jivatvam, there is no individuality, there is no will. The will also has resolved. The individual will is not there means individuality is not there, and therefore at that time if there are so many people living in the same room. There is no sense of division. Therefore, there is only oneness. And therefore, that is called Ishvara. And therefore, from that Ishvara has come the creation. These Sankhya's don't accept Ishvara. And therefore, that is also, then who puts all the Satoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna into equilibrium, who places them, and then who breaks the equilibrium. That has to be accepted. If you say it is a law, then there has to be a lawmaker. The lawmaker is Ishvara. If you say there is a law, then the lawmaker should be there. The universe is full of laws only. It's a network of laws. Matter also has got so many laws, and therefore Prakriti, even though it has got laws, Satoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, they're being put in to equilibrium is a law, and their breaking also is a law. If you say the law should have the lawmaker, and the lawmaker should be Ishvara, and you don't accept Ishvara, and therefore Brahmshaha nahi upadite. It is illogical. Avidya prasuptatva. And avidya, etc. Avidya, in the body, etc. And I am the body, etc. That is called avidya. That avidya dehe prasuptatva. The prasuptatva means super being in sleep. Prasupta, sushupta. Avidya dehe prasuptatvat. Avidya, etc. I am the body, etc. Prasuptatvat. न च अन्यो heturuchyate, heturasti, heturuchyate. There is no other reason why mobile है ना. There is no other reason. There is no other reason. न च अन्यो heturuchyate. There is no other reason. Ishvara is not acceptable. Is not accepted by this by Sankhya's, and therefore avidyadehe prasuptatvat means the avidya, etc. They are when the Satvaguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna they are in equilibrium, there is a resolution, and when it is broken, when the equilibrium is broken, there is a creation and sustenance. At that time, avidya, etc., you don't discern. Prasuptatvat means they are not thought of. Nacha anyo hetu ruchyate. Nacha anya hetu means Ishvara, etc. is not accepted. Is not accepted by the Sankhya's. And therefore, it is illogical. Not to accept Parameshvara is illogical. And one is you accepting infinite number of infinite jivas is not acceptable. And therefore, even though you are infinite, but then you are the infinite, but then you take yourself with a limited body, and therefore you feel the sense of limitation. And therefore, the Shankaracharya says the Sankhya people are very, very close to Vedanta, and therefore they are our best Purupakshis. In this manner, he says in Brahma Sutras. In Brahma Sutra Bhashyam also it is said, Sankhyas are the best individuals because they accept Atma. They accept conscious being as distinct from the Prakriti. Because Asango hi I am Atma. I am Atma, this I am Purusha, I am this Purusha is asanyoga. He has no association with anything. He is Akela, he is Advaita, he is infinity. But the only thing is that they accept the infinity of consciousness, but then such consciousnesses are many, infinite number of consciousnesses. And therefore, where do they exist? Now the anatma is not acceptable to one with atma. Therefore, the prakriti is separate from the purusha. So prakriti is separate, purusha is separate. And therefore, there is dvaita. In this manner, they accept. Therefore, it is illogical. Not a non-acceptance of Ishvara is a flaw, and accepting many infinites also is a flaw. इतर हेतुत्वे प्रवृत्ति स्यात् इतरेतर हेतुत्वे प्रवृत्ति स्यात् tada nava, tada, so sada nava. If you say the gunas, the gunas, the law, the law of the law changes. If the gunas themselves act on the gunas, then the gunas there have to be changed. Either the gunas will be either ever changing or never changing. If the gunas themselves act upon gunas, the gunas act upon gunas, then the gunas will be ever changing or never changing. Ever changing, it is because if they act upon gunas, then they change ever, then they change ever, or they never change. And therefore, they cannot act upon themselves. Niyamo na. There is no there is no niyama. You don't accept the niyanta. Ishvara is not accepted. If without accepting the Ishvara, you can't do anything. The laws cannot be accepted. The universe cannot be explained away. You cannot say this universe is something independent of Ishvara. If it is independent of Ishvara, it cannot be independent of Purusha. There is no Ishvara is not accepted. It is not independent of consciousness. If it is independent, without perception, how can you prove the Prakriti? Ji? Without perception, how can you prove the Prakriti? You cannot prove Prakriti. You cannot prove the objects without perception. And therefore, नियमो न प्रवृत्तीनां गुणेषु आत्मनिर्भर न भवेत्. The gunas cannot accept gunas. If you talk about the law, and the law sees to it that the gunas act upon the gunas, or the gunas act upon the atma. For that law to function, there has to be Ishvara, and Ishvara is not accepted by you, and that is also another flaw, and therefore non-acceptance of Ishvara is one flaw, and therefore the gunas acting upon the gunas also is another flaw, because you can't act upon yourself. Time acts upon something else, upon itself. Time acts upon itself. There and also the objects, the jivas. That is all right to say that something acts upon something else. That is all right. But if it acts on itself, then it ever changes or it never changes. And therefore, Ishvara is not accepted. That is a flaw. Mm. And the more of it we will see in the next class. Ji. Thank you, Ji. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. थैंक यू जी. हरिओम जी.